Hi students, welcome to week 7. I have been very busy answering a lot of questions on the forum, which is excellent to see. It's excellent to see that students are asking a lot of questions and getting involved with the assessment, which is due the research book this Friday. So keep those questions coming. The great place for the questions is the forum, because then I can answer it and everyone gets the same information. So keep those questions coming, that's great. So this week we turn to Module 3, Improving Productivity and Increasing Profitability. And we're going to be looking at one of the elements of the research book, which is the rational goal model. So let's turn to that now. And we can see here Module 3, it's the blue area of the quadrant that we're going to be talking of the circle, the quadrant that we're talking about today. We're going to be looking at the rational goal model. So I'm going to present the assumptions and goals, the paradoxes, and these paradoxes will be very useful for your perfect paragraphs that you will be working on at the moment. So you take your paradoxes from this particular area. So we're also looking at the competencies as well that you need for addressing the rational goal model as a manager. So let's have a look at the criteria of effectiveness. So what's important to this model and the way that you behave as a manager is profitability and productivity. This is an important model and set of assumptions that generate profitability and productivity in an organization. The means ends theory is clear direction leads to productive outcomes. The action imperative is to compete, and the emphasis is on goal clarification, rational analysis, action taking. And the culture is really the culture of the market. So you're very driven by customers' needs and wants. You're very driven by duplicating what other competitors are offering customers, and you're very aggressive in the marketplace with your pricing. So let's have a look at the paradoxes, and these you can use for your perfect paragraphs, or one of your perfect paragraphs. Leaders need to provide vision and still be open to participation. This is really hard to encourage participation in the rational goal model when so much information is top down and coming from the top down, saying this is what we need to do next, and there's very little opportunity for the top to hear about what people at the bottom or the coalface or dealing directly with customers have to say about ways they could improve productivity and profitability. Measure to include goal accomplishment without spending too much time measuring things instead of working towards goals. So goal accomplishment is really important. There's not a lot of time often devoted to measuring things and working methodically through and using a feedback loop in order to change the way that things are measured or viewed or success is determined. Need to move ahead quickly and still make sure all relevant facts are considered. Often there is an imperative to rush towards strategy and to grasp at new strategies as problems arise, and this can mean that not all relevant facts are considered at all times. So with your perfect paragraphs, what I think I would do is is use these keywords here in Discover It to actually search out and find thinking on these particular areas, and particularly search on the word rational goal model as well. All right, so then we're looking at compete core competencies. So an imperative or a core competency of this particular model is developing and communicating a vision, setting goals and objectives, motivating yourself and others, designing and organizing, and managing execution and driving for results. So these are the things that you have to exhibit on a daily basis when you are pursuing a management style similar to the rational goal model. So it's very important that you are seen as motivating yourself and others. So if you expect everyone to be in at 8:15, you need to be in at 8 o'clock, and make sure that all staff are aware of the importance of motivating themselves, of achieving goals, taking direction, using initiative. Setting clear goals and objectives is valuable with this model, as it makes everyone on the same page, so to speak, so they all understand the problems and the direction that the business is going. It's really important to manage execution and drive for results. That's the one way to ensure profitability and productivity. Managers who focus on the rational goals and analysis provide a vision that both inspires followers and justifies the organisation's existence. Identify specific steps needed to achieve the vision, generate energy to pursue the vision, create structure and design jobs for optimum effectiveness, and emphasise outcomes over effort. So it's really important here that outcomes that are to be delivered have to be strategic and have to be chosen, and that just working hard, maybe not in the direction of the goals for the organisation, is not necessarily a benefit to the subordinate, the person that you are managing. The primary tensions, as we know, we have this way of looking at all of the models thus far and understanding flexibility and stability. Which one of those two is an option? Where would you be on that spectrum? And does it have an internal or external focus? So the focus really here on the primary tensions of the rational goal model are in that stability external focus area. So stability is highly prized, and the rational goal model tries to create stability. There's also an external focus on the management environment and the challenges that environment provides to managers. So it has an external focus. So developing and communicating a vision is really important with the rational goal model. And the elements of a strong vision are part of identifying that strong vision, or the elements of a strong vision is identifying ideal strategic goals. So perhaps gathering together everyone who's involved with creating the strategic vision for the organisation and gathering their opinions up front, and then drawing up some strategic documents that articulate what that vision is, and then communicating that to all staff who work in the organisation. That would be a best practice approach with the rational goal model. It makes a case for change, so outlining exactly what the environment is presenting to the management and articulating that change, and that will ensure that the vision better matches the environment and moves on from the status quo. It has a focus on people and who those people are, and those people driving the strategic vision. All right, so articulating and communicating a vision, it has to have strategic organisational philosophy, be built on that philosophy. So if competition is not a focus, it has to be brought into the strategic organisational philosophy. It has to have tactical policies and practices to follow. It has to have personal values and aspirations of those involved in the organisation. So who are visionary leaders? Because leadership is really important in the rational goal model. So how they demonstrate the 4 action imperatives is really, really important. So visionary leaders need to be flexible and need to understand the environment and then adopt the appropriate action imperative. So is it a situation where we are losing money and we need to think about sustainability of the organisation? Then perhaps the focus is on compete, and a visionary leader will look more to the rational goal model in that environment than to the other 3 models that are presented in the CVF. Setting goals and objectives is really important. So the goal setting process, you need to formulate specific objectives and a due date. So an action plan is really important here. Identify specific steps to be taken, and again, in a strategic way, you need to forward to members of staff and other people the project plan, identify the specific steps to be taken, deliverables, output date, and who's responsible for that task. Schedule start and completion dates are vital. Develop a budget of resources needed. So does anyone need any training? Does anyone need access to motor vehicles to carry out our strategic vision? Estimate milestone achievements. Establish implementation mechanism. How and who is responsible is really important here. Set standards for evaluating the performance, and include that feedback loop. That's really important too. So having cascading goals through the organisation can help here. Superordinate goals, the goals that all people in the organisation are trying to achieve. These could be articulated in a mission statement, values and beliefs of the organisation. You might have it at an enterprise level where you're trying to achieve certain things in the organisation, achieve penetration into certain markets. The business unit, you can have goals for that business unit to reduce wastage by 25% over the next 12 months perhaps. At a team level, you could have like reduction in conflict management, reduction in complaints about other staff members, that sort of thing. And at the individual, how they motivate themselves, how they look forward to coming to work, how they can find other things in their job that they enjoy doing and maybe moving into those areas. Gaining strategic unity and alignment is really important. You must have a motivating and compelling vision, a reason for change, inspiring values, why people want to work and share your values, and a clear strategic intent. Ensure vision, values and strategic intent are understood and owned throughout the firm. So a great way to do this would be a meeting, I would say a monthly meeting with senior management to talk about vision, values and strategic intent and any problems that people are having, and deal with it openly and transparently. Ensure goals and actions are aligned across all units, teams and individuals. So maybe a quiz that they have on the new strategic vision with prizes involved in who gets the best answers. That might be a better way to go. More interesting to have participation and involve people, particularly if the prize may be a trip away for a weekend or something like that with your family, and that will assist in gaining buy-in to your strategic vision. Have the knowledge, skills and mindset needed to execute the strategy, live the values and achieve the vision. Really, really important to ensure that you represent the values and vision that you're trying to achieve at all times. Performance management systems can be helpful here, and performance management might be people reporting or sitting down with their immediate manager on a 6-monthly or 12-monthly or annual basis and going through what the goals for the job were and whether they were achieved and how they could be improved in the next cycle. So it's really important at those meetings to translate your vision of your unit's goals to the subordinate or to the person you're managing. Provide ongoing coaching and feedback to them. So if they're having problems, try to understand those problems and try to offer solutions. Joint establishment of individual goals, so show how your goals impact on their goals and how they're vital as necessary in the chain to ensure that things occur and by the right date. And give a true evaluation of performance and areas that could be improved in a positive way, and ensure that the employee leaves motivated from these meetings, these performance management meetings. So to be effective, goals should be specific, measurable, attainable, relevant and time-bound. That's SMART. And down below you'll find another video from another lecturer in the school, Dr. Olaf Merlink, and Dr. Merlink is going to be talking about the SMART model, and I suggest you have a look at what he has to say. It's very interesting, and that leads directly on from this lecture now. So I would suggest going and watching that. It's another face to see, another view of management, so that you're not just getting the view that I have, you're seeing a whole range of different opinions. Alright, if you have any questions about the assessment, please keep them coming. On the forum is a great idea as people head towards lodgement date, which is Friday. Alright, take care. Good luck. Looking forward to reading your research books.